If you think you have ADHD, then you're not alone. And if you're watching this video, it's probably the algorithm that's very smart to show you this, because I too am not diagnosed, but I definitely feel that I may have it too. And I want to tell you that it's really not that deep. And what I mean to say by that is I love to beatbox. And that's one of many things that I love to do, as you probably do too. And in the beatbox community, if you think about just beatboxing, going like literally going right, like this type of stuff, and just like drilling it, like some people look from afar like, yo, like when you're practicing and you're not clean, it's kind of like, yo, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? What is wrong with you? And then people would, kind of joke, oh, maybe they have ADD, ADHD, these type of things. And so ADHD, attention deficit disorder, but the HD maybe like hyper disorder, I'm not really sure. And that's how much it doesn't matter, because it doesn't really matter if you're diagnosed or not. To me, to share with you honestly, in the beatbox community, we call it ADO, where it's attention deficit order. And the reason is, without just being who we are, like being ourselves, just literally living day to day, how just what is natural to literally you and me, that's what brought us to where we are today. And if you just take away the whole of these societal labels and, oh, you have, this thing, and so because of this thing, now you need to be prescribed said, output of medicine or pills or treatment or whatever, right? Like when you really think about the truth, like what the heck are we saying here? We're saying, hey, you have something that isn't really deteriorating your health. Like if you really think about it, right? Like it's something in the mind. And the mind is the thing that allows us to take that next step, to take that step towards trudging forward. But if you're already doing that or are able to, and with the understanding and consideration of the remark that folks that take medication that's related to ADHD feel kind of like drones, robots, their emotions are zapped. They just feel like if you just take away everything of feeling from someone as a human who's, a subjective being, then you're left with what? You're left with this, like, honestly, this useless sack of, human flesh, maybe, which really has no originality, no creativity, no, just what makes you you, what makes you have a personality to make the person, right? So the reason I'm making this video is because I want to share with you on the other side that if you feel that you have it, use it to your advantage. It's not a bad thing. And honestly, I still don't know if I have it or not. And I hope, I don't even care. Forget about hope. Whether you do or not, who cares? What is the next step? That's literally all that matters. And if you're able to achieve that which you're looking for without, any supplements or prescribed medication, unless if like that's something you want to try and then you try it out and you're like, hey, it's for me or not me, like that's up to you, right? But the point is that if you are able to do what you're going to do, and you can do it even better without, having said kind of thing that's kind of hindering your just step-by-step progress, then just screw it, man. Like, there's literally no other way to put it. So if you feel that you have it, screw it. So what's the next step, right? I can tell you from personal experience that just the way I am, without having all the, prescription and the diagnosis or whatever, I wouldn't be where I am today without just literally accepting myself, without betting on myself, without risking with the bets that I've taken, whether with my time or capital investment towards a business opportunity, a business idea, a business investment, what have us, right? So the point is, I think that being hyperfixated on one thing at one time, but then when you're like kind of done with it, you kind of rotate to the next step because you're like, oh, hey, I want to try this other thing. And I maybe tried this other thing a few years later. And maybe a few months later, you know what? That was a cool thing. Let me try the next thing, right? So the point is, day to day, your attention could be going all over the place, right? Like typically speaking, like, oh, hey, you can't concentrate on one task. Oh man, do I have ADHD? Like, oh, I keep thinking about a million things at once and blah, blah, blah. But guess what? What's the inverse of that? You want to think about one thing only at any given point, which I'm just going to be honest, like that sounds kind of like nothing wrong with animals, right? But it seems very small-minded. Like you literally have nothing in front of you other than, the one thing that you're concentrating on, which to me personally sounds boring AF, right? And like if you're basking or bathing in the sun like a dog or a sheep or something, right? Just, beautiful sun or a nice mellow rain, little sprinkle, little drizzle, the one thing that you're looking at and that's all you have in front of you, I think that's a blessing because you get to just be in the moment. You get to just be in the present. There's not a push and a pull or the past and the future and all of those things, right? So coming back here, what is next? What is next is, what are the pros and cons of having it? If the pros are, hey, you're able to see and analyze things from a 50,000 foot view, even if it's just, hey, there's 50,000 things in front of me from that view, right? And you can only give a little attention to each and every item that's in that purview. It may seem like you're not giving enough attention, aka attention deficit, right? You're not giving enough attention to each thing. But me personally, and I'm sharing this because I hope it resonates with you too, that I hope for me, I would wish that when I see that landscape, I am seeing everything that's in front of me. So from a bigger lens, I'm able to understand what all the total scope is in front of me, for then me to choose to hyper fixate on a specific item versus me seeing only a small piece of this bigger puzzle. And then when I find something like, oh, in this thing, there's something that's related to this. And then I go to that, point number two, or, if this is A, then there's B. Then from B, I realize, oh, there's something at C. Oh, hey, there's something at D. Like, that's very, like, iterative, and that's fine. And that's how you kind of, like, understand the bigger picture, and I get that. But imagine understanding how everything works, right? If you know how to be successful, basically, right? Like if you need to wear multiple hats, if you're a solopreneur, if you're a business owner, if you're like, hey, I need to do marketing, I need to do content creation, I need to do, title, thumbnail, like, this video, if you came this far, first of all, thank you, and I appreciate you. The second thing is, you got to do everything. I'm recording on this camera. I came out here, the sun's about to set. I got, audio here. I got the camera. It's pretty decent quality, I would hope. Many years later, I don't know, right? If everyone wants 8K and all this, in terms of video quality, that's different. But what does that mean? That means that I'm able to gladly understand that even though there's so many elements, forget about attention deficit for one thing. Think about the inverse, where you're able to give at least a little attention to everything. Like, I would think that gives you the capability to understand, hey, this input, it provides me with what I can expect to see, like, man, that could cause an issue. Or like point number 234 of whatever process, right? It's like, hey, by the time we get over there, actually, I need to get point number 300 and whatever in advance of that, because then this won't, this is a dependency on that, and that's a dependency on this. So all of this, right, in the simplest words ever, you're able to concentrate on that which you want in front of you, and don't feel shy about it. Because a lot of people, if they want to concentrate on said thing, they may have other constraints, whether that's their time constraint or their own reprioritization of what they're trying to do day to day. So in English, that means if they have, example, family, kids, pets, dogs, some school recital to go to, like, nothing wrong with it, right? Like, that could be the priority. But the thing is, some people who want to concentrate don't even get the opportunity. And then maybe folks like us have so much bandwidth in the brain where, like, I got a lot of things to do, you probably do too. We're all like human and we're busy and all this stuff, right? But the beauty about literally being able to hyperfixate on something just to be, like, in the weeds, right? Like, if you're ever in the trenches, if you're ever, like, down there, whatever, like, doing the thing, right? Like digging a ditch or digging a hole, you're able to do that step by step and just do that one thing, and with just so much attention. And, like, you can see my face, like, I'm happy because it makes me excited to think that, yo, you can literally do anything you want. And when you're doing said thing, you're able to give so much attention to it, maybe so much care, if you want to put it in kind of the feelings term, that's priceless. Because if someone's telling you, hey, don't concentrate on one thing that much, but concentrate on, let's say, everything, or hey, you're concentrating on everything and I need you to focus on this one thing, the fact that you have your choice of what you can do, where you can take a zoom out and then see, like, everything and then zoom in, or you're zoomed in and you're like, okay, wait, let me zoom out, and, like, kind of have that back and forth. I think that's a superpower. I will say it here. ADHD is a superpower. ADO, as we call in the beatbox community, is attention deficit order. It's a superpower, man. Like, 8 billion people in this planet, and the whole thing at this point is like, it could all just be made up, and they want to sell you all the pharmaceutical kind of items, for lack of a better term, just because I'm not allowed, maybe to say certain, kind of names of certain prescriptions, let's say. So all in all, if you're watching this and you think like, yo, something's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with you. I can say the system is wrong. I can say somebody else is wrong. I can say your doctor's wrong. But in the end, who the heck cares? If you're getting results, keep it going. And if you think you can do better, try the prescription. Try whatever the heck it is. And then you'll get to know the truth. So for me, maybe my next step is that. Maybe I will say, hey, do I have this? And maybe I'll try it out, right? Maybe. But also, I do know that right now as it is, I'm really happy. I just want to share that with you. So if you came to the end, thanks for coming to the end. Subscribe, like, all the good things. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.